let's just dive into the topic, um, because it's been on my mind for like maybe a couple of months or weeks, and it just like one day dropped, like came up, and I just realized like how you see all these videos or people talking about finding purpose, or like finding your purpose, or finding um, your purpose through ikigai method or through any kind of other method. And one day I was just like, how pressuring it is or must be for someone to be constantly reminded through content, through social media, or just through yourself, like reminding yourself constantly that there is this thing that you have to find at some point to finally be content with your life, or to have the feeling that your life has been successful because you have found your purpose. And so I just came to the conclusion that this was definitely not serving me, that I had the feeling that this was very similar to other concepts in society that I also think pressure us into pursuing something, and just be constantly on this path of achieving a goal and not being happy until you've attained this goal. So it could be through the prism, or what's the name? It could be through the um, let's just forget that word. um, Through the lens. It could be through the lens of this concept of finding purpose, or also something like achieving your dreams, or finding happiness, and stuff like this. And someday I just, I don't know, I felt like, okay, let's just push this to the limit. Like, let's just ask the ultimate question: what would happen if I do not find my purpose? What if I do not have a purpose to find in this lifetime? Like, what would happen? And so that's why I think like some people really pressure themselves into finding or looking for a purpose, and they just feel like they're not worthy, or not happy if they do not have the chance to have found this purpose. And then like over the last months, I wouldn't say like I've been vegetating, but I would say that maybe if you looked at it from the outside, like for most people, my life would pretty much seem quite boring and stagnating, in the sense that for several months now I haven't been having any depression or like depressing phases. I i haven't been like maybe the happiest, if you had to put a name on it, like a really, I haven't been having like really low lows or high highs. So to some it may seem like a quite boring life, but I just realized like it's been awesome to have this kind of boring life and to be bored, and it's been so nourishing and fulfilling to basically just enjoy every day and be in this routine, and not really planning anything. It just so happened that I think from May on, I just got less and less work, like less request inquiries um, from people to take French classes or English classes, which is my main source of money, of living, like earning a living. And I I never really like stress about money. I think I used to stress more about money, but at some point I just let go of that. And yeah, since May, I've just been like living every day, just like without any expectation, mostly without any planning, and just knowing, okay, today and tomorrow and the day after and the week after, it's going to be pretty much the same, and here and then some little excursion maybe outside, and like going to a lake, going in nature, and every day going 2 times with our little rescued rescued vegan doggy, going on 2 walks with him, and Mark going on 2 walks with him, and enjoying a beautiful and delicious breakfast, enjoying a delicious lunch, and enjoying a delicious evening meal. And every day living my life like in alignment with my values, being vegan, doing my best to avoid producing new waste, avoid plastic, living a minimalistic way of living, and from time to time maybe doing some meditation if I feel like it, or doing some yoga if I feel like it, and going to my pole dance classes, and reading a book when I feel the need to. So yeah, it's been really nourishing, or nourishing, whatever, um, nurturing to just get to live, and not having much anxiety, not having like, just your mind being free of most existential questions. And in this time, like, I don't the only social contact that I have mostly is through street activism, which is like every 2 weeks, in a city where we drive to 20 minutes away, and like spreading the message, speaking up for animal rights on Instagram, and uh, maybe also going just like spontaneously with my boyfriend somewhere to just stand there and show the truth to people. But it's just been so freeing to let go of this pressuring concept of finding a purpose. And I've just realized, like, I do have purpose, and I think like everyone has some purpose, like whether you can see it or not, or whether you've found it, like officially found it or not, consciously found it or not. I think everyone has a purpose, and if it could be just like as small, maybe if you can see it that way or not, as small as smiling to someone, or helping someone cross the street, or saving a little bee that just like didn't have as much energy, like enough energy to fly for some minutes, and you just like carry that little bee, like it happened to me yesterday, and just carried that little bee for a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes or so, and then just watch that beautiful being get to fly again, like after he or she or they had refueled, basically. And that's purposeful. And even if it's just like basically, yeah, petting your dog or petting any animal companion, that's purposeful as well. So I just want to like let that out, and maybe like for someone to just hear it and maybe feel relieved of that pressure if you have felt that as a pressure. I mean, it's okay if some people want to make the experience to look for a purpose. That's completely fine. But that's just like how I've been seeing this. And I'm just looking at my notes, like what other stuff I just wanted to talk about. Um, yeah, and in the last couple of weeks and months, my greatest source of joy has been really in the mundane things, like the everyday things, like just going on a walk with Sky and witnessing beautiful moments in nature, and watching insects and rescuing a little bird, and just feeling the warmth of her sunshine, or just like the smell after it rained on a warm day, and just, yeah, like getting all the smells of nature, of the leaves that are still wet, the dirty soil that is still wet, and making my everyday, um almost every day, only one cup of coffee that I buy secondhand, because most coffees are just unethical. You can dig into that topic if you want to, just like inform yourself about the practices, inhumane practices in the coffee and cacao industries, um, the human violations that are present in those industries. It's appalling, and that's why I just get my coffee secondhand, to avoid that, to avoid creating new demand for unethical products. Um, but yeah, that has been just like amazing to enjoy such little moments. Um, and it's like nothing so spectacular that's in my everyday life, but those moments, they're just like so precious, and I'm so present in the moment when I experience them, that it fulfills me with just so much joy, and it's just pure bliss, and it's just beautiful. That's These little things for me are like the biggest things. Um, but also what's been amazing is just like I've released of the pressure on myself. Like I thought, okay, once you dig into spirituality and healing trauma and like doing shadow work, like it's a never ending story, and it pretty much is. But I just thought like you really have to do it like actively every day, and you have to do that meditation and that yoga and that journaling and whatever it is, that you call that spiritual work. I thought like, okay, you really have to do it actively and consciously, and if you're not working on it, well, you're not healing that trauma, you're not healing anything, and that was pressuring as well. So at some point I just let go of that, just like letting go of the concept of finding purpose. And that's been amazing as well, because I think like so many things, even if we're not actively working on it, there are some things that we are definitely, in my eyes, that we are releasing even on a subconscious level, even though we're not actively consciously working on it. And so I just basically like feel into myself, and I listen to myself, and when I do feel the need to do a meditation, then I will just follow that, and I just consider this as a calling. When I just hear that inner voice, I just feel the emotion telling me that I crave that meditation, or that journaling, or that painting, whatever the practice is. I just lean into it, and then it feels amazing. I like only afterward I feel why I needed to do that. And it's it's a great feeling to be healing trauma in that way, in a way that's just like very spontaneous, and very um just like coming from, yeah, from within me. It's not like I'm actively following um a guideline, or like following a set of rules to do it. Is just like very natural. So that felt amazing as well. um what else do I have? um yeah, and also I think definitely what was maybe a starting point, or part of the beginning of this path, was um, after a quite long depression last winter, where I also released the need to focus on likes and numbers on social media. There was last year a phase where I was just like producing so many videos and so many reels and whatever on social media, and I was paying so much attention to likes and numbers of followers or whatever, and that pressured me so much that I went into that depression, and that was combined with a hate for people, um, because so many people are choose to be cruel to animals, and that's not okay, but it shouldn't lead to such a hate that basically consumes you to the point that you fall into depression and you are not able to speak up for animal rights, because you're stuck in that hole for like weeks on end and months maybe. So yeah, after dealing with that, I letting go of whatever numbers of people watch my video, or like not not making my videos in order to reach a specific segment of people, like not adapting my content to people. When I stopped doing that and I just started making the videos when I felt the need to do them, to make them, when I felt the need to speak about something that just felt more in alignment. And I think that's definitely something that contributed to letting go of the concept of finding purpose or finding happiness, and just feeling like I wasn't really enjoying life if I hadn't found my purpose. Or yeah, it's just like releasing of all the things that society has been telling you to do in order to be able basically to be yourself, and to be an acceptable version of yourself. Just releasing of all those social media mm, goals that people communicate to you as necessary in order to be your fullest self, or to be the most fulfilled in your life. And I think there's no such thing. You do not have to do yoga every day, or meditate every day, or journal every day, or whatever, to be your happiest. um, in my eyes, what definitely for me did it is just to witness the little things and to be present in the normalest, in the most normal moments. And yeah, that was something that definitely helped me. So I just wanted to talk about this topic, and I hope that this resonated maybe with some people. And yeah, that's it. If you feel like you want to hear more or see more and discover more about what I care about and what I create, then you can just check out my Instagram. And I am mostly present in the stories because I think that's just like, that's the easiest way for me to communicate with people. And yeah, that's it. Well, have a lovely rest of your day, and I will maybe see you in the next video sometime soon or not.